Y'all supposed to turn around.
Of course, that no one right before. I was only 8. At the age of 25, I was king of the world. My father was Philip II, and my mother was Olympias. My teacher was the famous Greek philosopher Aristotle. When I was 16, I fought in the Battle of Chernobyl while my father was away. After Chernobyl, my father was recognized king of Macedonia. My father, now our leader, prepared to launch an attack on Darius, the Persian king. But first he divorced my mother to marry a younger princess. After the divorce, I ran away, but was soon allowed to return. People thought when I returned, would I become king? The answer was soon given in 336 BC, when my father was murdered. As king, the Greek state started to recover, only to be destroyed again. As revenge, the city of Thebes was destroyed. Now master of Greece, I was ready to take on the Persians again. With my army of 40,000, I overwhelmed the Persian forces. Then, on my march to Asia Minor, now modern Turkey, I stopped at Gordium, which had the famous Gordian knot. According to legend, the knot secured the yoke, the chariot of the ancient Gordian king. According to legend, whoever could untie the knot would become Lord of Asia. I untied it very quickly by slashing through it with my sword. While I was away, Darius came to attack me. Instead of invading Persia at once, I decided to cut them off at the Mediterranean Sea. On my way there, I occupied Syria and Palestine. Egypt, I was hailed as a pharaoh and founded the city of Alexandria, which still exists. While I was fighting with the Persians, I found Darius dead, killed by one of his own troops. Having conquered Persia, I went on to rule India. Even though we won, we were faced with one weapon that we've never seen before, the elephant. And men refused to go any longer. I died at the age of 32 while I was planning to go to Arabia. I am Alexander the Great.
Where am I? The question kept ringing in my head. I'd gotten lost along my way to see the great ruler China, Kublai Khan. But I guess I should start at the beginning of my story. It all started when I was at a young age in my life. My father and uncle, Nicolio and Bafio, had been gone for a good 4 years. Then, one day, to my surprise, they came home. My uncle and father had gone to China. The great ruler there, Kublai Khan, told them to tell the Pope to send 100 missionaries and some holy oil. But a new Pope had not been elected yet. I begged my father to let me go with him, but he would keep saying no. When I got older, my father told me to get my stuff packed because we were going to China. Woo, I said. The next day, we were off on our trip. First, we stopped off to get some polio. We finally started heading to China after that. On our trip, I got lost in the desert, but luckily made it back to our gate. We got to China, and Kublai Khan welcomed us. Khan asked if I wanted a job. Of course I said I wanted. The job was to travel around and find out what was going on in different places. I kept growing older and older while I was in China. One day, my father asked the Khan if we could go back home. After all, I was turning 40, but the Khan did not let my family and I go. Then I was chosen to be a captain for a boat that was sailing to Venice. My father and uncle came along too, but I could go under one promise, that I would come back and see Kublai Khan again. Our Chinese paper money was of no worth in Venice, so we bought pearls, rubies, and much more precious items. We sewed them in our clothes so we didn't have to carry them. A little bit after I had made it home, I had to leave again and go to war with Genoa, but I was captured and thrown in jail. One of my friends was in jail too. He suggested that we write a book about my journeys. We did, and we managed to get out of jail too. Soon Kublai Khan died, and in a little bit, I, Marco Polo, the famous friend of Kublai Khan, died too.
Before I was 4, my father started teaching me how to play the piano and the violin. I can never remember a time when my father wasn't standing over me with a cane to rap my knuckles whenever I made a mistake. My father was determined to make me a child of prodigy like Mozart, but my genius was...
At the age of 57, after being married 3 times, I married remotely. We moved to different places in the world multiple times. We have 9 children together. I received an Academy Award for my 9 movies. I died on Christmas Day, 1977, when I was 88 years old. My name is
I was the 37th president-elected. I was elected president in 1969, and I'm married to Thelma Catherine. I have 2 children, Patricia and Julie. I was the president when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. I was a lawyer until 1946, and then I won an election and entered Congress. My favorite food is cottage cheese with ketchup on it. One of my favorite things to do in the summer is to turn the air conditioning very low and build a blazing fire in the White House fireplace. One of the most important events in my life occurred in 1952 when I was 39. My idol, Dwight D. Eisenhower, chose me for his vice presidential running mate. My family had a Cocker Spaniel named Checkers. Eisenhower and I swept the election. So Pat, Julie, Tricia, Checkers, and I moved into the vice presidential mansion. We ran again in 1956, and once again were re-elected by a landslide. Two of my greatest accomplishments during my presidential administration were the ending of the Vietnam War and the opening of relationships with China. The worst thing that happened to me was the Watergate scandal, my second term as president. In 1974, as a result of the Watergate, I was the first United States president to resign. I retired to San Clemente, California. Every year in my home in San Clemente, Pat and I have hosted a prisoner of war week for all the soldiers that were locked up during the war. Some people call me paranoid, as I order people to keep a list of people that I think that were out to get me. This list includes Bill Cosby, Jane Fonda, and quarterback Joe Namath. I have led a full life, and now I have passed away. I am Richard Milhouse Nixon.
I died. I was 67 years old. I am the same class.
1952, I won a Theater World Award for the Broadway movie. Next year, I was on my road to the 1953 movie Roman Holiday. I was born Etta Van Heemster in 1929. My father was an English banker, and my mother was a Dutch. My parents got divorced when I was 9 years old. Mother and I moved to Nazi-occupied Holland to live with my grandparents. After a while, we began to starve, but luckily, we received money from UNICEF for relief agencies. Before we moved, I was a chubby thing, but as the years passed, I became frail and thin. I was like that for the rest of my life. In 1954, I got married to the actor Rob. He took care of me very well. And in 1960, after 5 miscarriages, I finally gave birth to a son. 8 years later, I got divorced from him. In 1970, during a 13-year marriage with the Italian psychiatrist Andrea Dotti, I didn't have a son living. During my career, I made 25 movies. Some included My Fair Lady, Robin and Mary, and Breakfast at Tiffany's, Funny Face, and How to Steal Millions. Robin and Mary was my last movie. In 1988, I became a special ambassador for UNICEF. I visited Venezuela, Mexico, El Salvador, Somalia, and other places. When I returned from Somalia in 1982, I began to suffer stomach pains. It was so bad I could only speak in whisper. So on January 27, 1993, I died of colon cancer because of severe shock. I am Audrey Hepburn, great movie actress.
I was 45 years old.
I couldn't believe they were taking Margot and me away. It was 1944 and the Nazis were taking us to Bergen-Belsen, a concentration camp where they shaved our heads and there was no car. My sister and I died of
Shortly after I was appointed Joint Chief of Staff. At age 52, I was the youngest to hold this position and the first black chief. I fought in 2 wars, Vietnam and the Gulf War. In 1987, I was appointed the first black national security advisor for the service.
Athletes too. My oldest brother Mickey loved to run the track and field. And my second oldest brother, Cleve, was into sports, but his favorite sport was soccer. But I'm the best athlete in the family. I'm the world's best sprinter and long jumper. I became interested in sports when I was very young. I was born July 1st, 1961 in Birmingham, Alabama. When I was 10, I completed the Jesse Owens age group meeting. When I was at the age group meeting, my dad took me to meet Jesse. We talked, and he gave me some tips to help me become a great track star. Both my mother and father helped me become a great track star. Face it, my family helped me become a great track star. When I was in the 9th grade, I long jumped 19 feet and 7 inches. But when my sister was in the 9th grade, she long jumped 20 feet and 5 inches. The next year I entered high school. The name of the high school was Wilmington High. My mom coached the girls track team, and my dad coached the girls track team at Kennedy High School. In my junior year, I made an outstanding 26 feet and 8 inch jump. My longest jump was 29 feet and 8.5 inches. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm the fastest runner in the world. Carl Lewis.
At the age of 26, I was almost totally deaf. I became that way when I was getting married on December 21st, 1886. At the reception when we were on the edge of the forest near Pepper, Wisconsin, the parents of Charles and Caroline Ingalls. I went to school while my parents worked. My dad sewed at dressmakers for a living. My mom sewed at dressmakers for a living. My dad could paint and carpet. Sometimes he'd be on jury duty downtown. When he was, Mom and I stayed at Grandma's every night. My dad got $2 every day for 5 straight weeks, and brought back all the money. I started my college training for teaching when I was 15. I had my first class when I was 12. In 1885, I married the love of my life, Mansell James Wilder. A year later, I had my first child and my only child, Rose Wilder. On our first anniversary, Almanza made me a sewing box made out of star boxes. In 1894, Almanza, Rose, and I left our farm in South Dakota and went to a new farm in the Ozarks. I had written a diary about our journey. I described the towns we passed, the rivers, the crops, the fruits, the birds, and the flowers I saw as my family moved south. 40 years later, I started writing books about my life. I had written 8 books. 1943 was when my last book went out. I won the Harriet Hartman Award at the Pacific Northwest Association. I won 2 more awards after that. At the age of 92, Almanza died in 1949. I died in 1957. My books are still read and enjoyed by millions of children. I died at the age of 90. I am Laura Eames.
I'm the most excellent basketball player in the world. Everyone loves me. I'm so happy when I play basketball. I make everyone who watches happy too. I get paid to play basketball, but I play for free. I was born February 17, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. I went to Atlantic High School. I played baseball, football, and track, trying to find the right place for my talent. As I grew up, I found the best target. It was the basketball coach. In the beginning, I was not a player. I was cut from the varsity team. I spent the whole next summer in the gym working to get ready. I grew from 5'11" to 6'3", but I was not a star yet. Next year, I made the team barely. I got accepted to 5-star basketball camp in Pittsburgh, the best camp in the nation for high school. Coaches don't baby you. They make you work, shake goals, and achieve. My parents are very smart. They kept me involved in my education, made sure I knew right from wrong, that I didn't get involved in alcohol or drugs. I became a real star as a freshman. I made the first basket in my first game. When I made it, there were 15 seconds left to go. Now I was really a star. In 1984, I was chosen to be a captain of the United States Olympic basketball team. We won a gold medal. Also, I was named College Player of the Year. Also, after my junior year of college, I decided to become a pro. I was the 3rd college player chosen by a pro team. I became a Chicago Bull. I was then 6'6". Only 2 players with more points than I did. I was the highest scoring rookie since Primo Doge. Everyone loved the way that I played. At the end of the year, I was voted Rookie of the Year. I had made 2,313 points. I started my 2nd year at Chicago Bull with more success. But in the 3rd game, I broke my left foot. I scored 49 points. The Celtics won, but they couldn't stop me. It was the most points ever scored in a playoff game. On the first day of the 1986-87 season, after dating for 7 years, I got married in 1989, the Las Vegas Royal chapter. I became the all-time winning scorer of Chicago Bulls with 14,016 career points. I'm Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
At the time, because my mother had died 2 years earlier. I love my father. He used to call me Little Golden Hair. My mother used to call me Grandfather.
As a child, I never missed a chance to go to carnivals and fairs in Kansas City. As an adult, I would sit on a bench eating peanuts as my 2 girls played on the swing. I said to myself, I need my own amusement park. I was born in 1901 in Chicago, Illinois. After that, I received a job in cartoon advertising. In 1923, I established my own studio to produce motion pictures. Alice in Cartoonland was the first. It deals with both the human and cartoon actor. In 1928, I began to work on a cartoon character about a mouse named Mickey. It was so successful, we made many, many more. Then in 1937, Disney Studios made our first full-length motion picture, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
Others followed, such as Bambi, Pinocchio, Fantasia, and Cinderella. Some of my movies had live actors, such as Mary Poppins and Treasure Island. I opened amusement parks all around the world just 1 year before I died in 1966. I am Walter E. Disney, the famous movie maker from a young age.
Franklin died in 1925, 1 year after his third election into the presidency. After Franklin's death, I continued my work for world peace, women's rights, and
Subject, July 11, 1767, British raid. My father kept a home in law office in Boston. It is near the Commons where the British regulars were quartered. If I had been for the British occupation, I had entered graduate school in Boston. I married Lucy Catherine Johnson on July 26, 1779. In 1801, I took my wife and my little boy Tommy to my homeland. While we were there, the National Journal ran about Wendy to the ball tonight.
First woman doctor. After my father died, and almost every year my mother had a fatal miscarriage, I grew desperate. I was born in the lovely town of Bristol, England. Then when I was 11, we moved to Ohio. When we moved, we brought my 7 brothers and sisters, 3 aunts, 2 governesses, and a servant. Board's house and head for New York. 6 years later, we moved to Ohio. 3 months after the move, my father passed away. That's when we became poor. So to get money, I taught. Then I opened a school especially for black children. Later that year, I went to visit my friend Mary in the hospital. She said she wouldn't feel as bad if she had a female doctor. She asked me why I didn't become a doctor. I told her I didn't know. Later that night, I went home with that thought in my head. It never left my head either. I knew there had to be a person doctor. Why not me? I'd go to college. I decided I would go to college to become a doctor. I applied to 26 medical schools. 25 of them turned me down. This college in Geneva, New York accepted me. There I would study to become a doctor. Then in 1849, a crowd of people gathered to watch me graduate. I was now the first woman doctor. I applied for a job at a hospital for women and children. There I caught disease in my left eye. A doctor had to remove the eye and replace it with a glass eye. 5 years later, I moved to England. There I was the first woman doctor also. On May 31st, 1910, I died peacefully at the age of 91. I am Elizabeth Blackwood, the only first woman doctor in the U.S., but in England.
When I was 42 years old, I prepared to keep a vow. That vow was that I would watch over my people through the winter, and in exchange I would sacrifice my blood and endure my pain at the next Sunday. I was born near the Grand River in what is now present-day South Dakota. My real name is Tatanka Tatanka. I was a very famous Indian chief who lived for 56 years, between 1834 through 1890. The Sioux Indians were led by me, and the United States government forced us to settle on small reservations. Between June 25th and the 26th, there's an expedition going on between the Sioux Indians and
Flag. When the country was made up of 15 states, it had 15 stars, 15 striped national standard. But long after this became unsuitable because 4 more states had joined the Union. It was kept so for more than 20 years, now that my life. It was a fine spring morning in Philadelphia, the year 1764, when I was too busy to even notice that the spring was in the air. As I walked a few blocks from my house to my school, I dragged along behind me one of my younger sisters, now that I made a flag. The men of the community told me that it would be better not to talk about the flag for a while. They advised me that it would be better to wait until it was finished, and they would see how far the Congress would gone before declaring itself a union of independent states. I examined the binding. Then the holes where the flag could be fastened to a rope and sewed to it in flagstaff. I examined the way designs were sewn on. I examined the seams. Everything, of course, was sewn by hand. When I was ready to cut the bunting, my hand trembled. Usually I cut boldly and quickly, sure of what I was doing. Now I hesitated. I measured and measured. Finally, I plunged. I cut the 7 red stripes and 6 white ones. I cut the blue cancer. Then I took the paper pattern of a star, which I made so carefully, and laid it on the white bunting. I cut around it 13 times. I took the 13 5-pointed stars, covered them with an extra piece of cloth to keep them clean, and laid them away in a chest drawer. I will not need them until later. That's how I made the flag. I am Betsy Ross. 1913, I was married in Voluntary Honors.
I had one person that went to the third game from me left foot. I go 49 points. The 7th one. I had one $2. That's supposed to make that fun.
Welcome, welcome, little stranger. Fear no harm and fear no danger. We are glad to see you here, for you sing sweet spring is here. Now the white snow melts away, now the flowers blossom in. Come, dear bird, and build your nest, for we love our rock best. I wrote this poem when I lived in Concord, Massachusetts, and I was only 8 years old. I was born on November 29, 1832 in Germantown, Pennsylvania. I had an older sister named Anna and a younger sister named Elizabeth. My father, Bronson, was a teacher, but whenever he taught, the school went out of business because parents disliked the way he taught. My father thought children should have a say in what is happening, but parents thought he was a nut. When this always happened, it was hard to buy food and clothing, but whenever we were unhappy, my mother, whose nickname is Marmy, always kept us in high spirits. My mother always influenced me to write stories since I was so good at it. My favorite relative was my Aunt Hancock. She was my model for Aunt March and Little Women. My aunt's real name was Dorothy Scott, but before she was married to James Scott, she was married to John Hancock. He was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence and the first governor of Massachusetts. My Aunt Hancock was so proud of her last name that she kept it until the day she died. As I entered my teen years, my desire to become a writer grew stronger. I started keeping a journal and wrote hundreds of poems, stories, and plays. I helped support the family by sewing, working as a teacher, and served as a companion to an aged couple. Later in my life, I wrote books called Little Women, Little Men, and many more. I died from typhoid fever on March 6, 1888. I was 55 years old. I was the young writer, Louisa May Alcott.
After Franklin's death, I continued my life. The world peace, women's rights,
character, but they know each other's, which is really wonderful. Steve, you want to hold off there? Oh, Scott, hold off just a second. Okay, I did want to share about the painting the backdrops. All of these backdrops were created by the children, but it was done over 3 different classes. It's one of those things where different people did a lot of things and then it all came together. In this particular hour, Kelly Connolly, who's standing over here, is one of the designers of the Ford car that's back